Guys, welcome back to the Dion Gaming channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new build, something that Naked and I tested, and we'll be talking about very soon. But first, I actually want to give a thanks to Meecup for putting a post that I was actually looking for two of my videos, one for my creepypasta, and the other for the why people are asking for the nerf on Hellgates. Now, that's what I wanted to look for, a place with a design, but for some reason I couldn't find it and I was very busy. So again, I want to give a big thanks to Midcup for actually posting this in the forum. Again, let's talk about the Hellgate. One of the things I have not done in 2017 is Hellgate. I did it in 2019 when it actually was buff and everything. One of the things that I do want to say is that the Hellgate at the moment, because it received 2 buff during the patch, the reward versus risk is unbalanced. It is low risk versus high reward. It doesn't fucking matter what anybody else says because they're trying to defend it. It is low risk versus high reward. If you could go in tier 4 or tier 4.1 and able to get about mils of silver, 1 or 2 or 5 to 6 hour, get 22 mil silver, and once again those are from the mouth of other players. I myself tested this and I was getting about 1 to 2 mil per run per each Hellgate. So again, it is low risk versus high reward, and if you can do this, it should be balanced. Again, they balanced it during the first time, and during the second time that they balanced it, they started receiving DDoS, which during that time they didn't have enough chance or time to rebalance the Hellgate again. Now, let's talk about the Hellgate note, starting with the first one. Hellgate are about PvP. This automatically tells you that the design is meant for players to have 2v2 or 5v5, and the focus was PvP. It wasn't about any PvE or any fame farming or any silver farming. However, I'm sure they put that in there to attract player anyway. So let's look for the second type. Mobs should play no or very limited role in deciding who wins a PvP fight. Of course, before I did heard that the mobs were extremely hard, and if the mob kills you, you actually loot all you lose. You actually lose all you loot. So they actually made it much easier now. However, when the mob dies, it explodes and it can kill a player, which right now we're seeing a lot of builds of players using the switch teleport boots, which they kill the mob, teleport you into the mob as it's about to AoE explode on you, and then they finish you off either with an execute bloodletter or with a death giver or something else to nuke you by the time you try to react to the damage. So second one, Hellgate strategy should not be affected by artificial game mechanics such as timing. Yep. So obviously they shouldn't have a timer for that. Dodging the opposite team should not be possible. At the same time, there needs to be a legitimate way to get out of Hellgate if something unexpected happened. For example, your healer disconnect. I want to tell you something, that when something is possible in Albion Online, there's always going to be an abuse. That's Albion Online for you. There's no fairity of player being so honest as not taking abuse of anything in the game. I will show you an example. During this time, I made a guide about how to kill a healer, and we went to each dungeon looking for someone who had a mage robe, a purge item like a black hand, arcane, or fiend cow, anything like that to disrupt our healing, but we will try to escape anyway if we can't beat them. As you know, the weakness of the healer is actually the purge. You purge them, you can actually be the healer. Again, during this time we couldn't beat them, and I told Magus that okay, we finally found our guy, we can't beat them, now we need to actually steal the loot and run away. During this time, I separated, and as you see, Magus is in the bottom left corner. As he moves towards the bottom right corner, I told Magus find the portal, it should be on the top right side, which he does. Watch right here. During this time, Magus goes to the top right side, and boop, teleports right out. Obviously I end up dying because when you have purge, you can take away my W, you can take away my heal, you can take away my fear. Since during, actually
Fear is going to be a little bit hard because I have to attack them, but again, there's a way to, someone said there was a way to interrupt it, which they saw it on this video right as I tried to leave. So again, I actually died, and I used it right here. I guess maybe it was the night helm or something like that. Someone had a nightmare, maybe, I'm not sure. But when I used the fear, which was around here, it seems there was something happened. My fear was canceled for some reason. So then I actually died because of that. Again, it was a matter of time that I was going to die, but we abused the system of something having a way out. We abused the system of having something to have a way out, basically. We told them to steal the loot. darthmagus did steal the loot and went out with the loot, which actually pays for what I've lost when I died. So technically I didn't lose anything. So again, when there's something about this, there shouldn't actually be anything. In League of Legends or any other type of game of the 5v5, if the healer disconnected, that's on you, basically. Like, that's sad. It's on him. Sorry, it's on him. It's sad, but it happens. Too bad. QQ. You lost your loot. Maybe next time trying to go for the healer that it has a better computer or a better ISP. I'm sorry to be rude, sounded rude or something like that, but that's how it is the game. But if you make some way to get out, like some way, a legitimate way to get out, it's something rarely happen in the Hellgate, well, guess what? They're going to be an abuse like the way we did it. Now, the last one is the camping on the opposite team entrance should not be a valid strategy, which they already have bubbles. Basically, you can't have the other team just run to the right side, they pour it in, and automatically they clap you and pretty much just take all your loot. Being able to do all 4 bosses, and actually all 5 bosses, for a total amount of 303,000 fame and a bunch of silver. I mean, sorry, a bunch of keys, which is about an amount of 1,800 plus keys. So again, the main focus is not PvE, it's actually PvP, which if you look at one of the videos, one of the guys said it, there should be a way for this to be a fair fight, and because it is a way to be a fair fight, this should be a way that attracts people into the Hellgate. So they buffed it. They fucked up because buffing it too much now is actually greater than random dungeons, and now we have low risk versus high reward because players are using tier 4 and 4.1. Again, now I'm going to put a little description on the top, I think somewhere, to allow you guys to skip into the main video. Let's talk about the main king, the king of kings of all tanking weapon for random dungeon. First of all, Incubate Maze. Has Threatening Smash to create threats, has Offensive Slam to create some defense while you're doing it, and has Sacred Ground, which is coming soon for silence and ignored and crowd control resistance. Again, the second one, which is the King of King, is actually the Air Compressor's ability, which is on the UW. It pulls all enemies in a 7-meter radius towards your position and create more threat. That's actually awesome because he pulls them all very close for other players to do LE, like Lambeau or Blazing Staff, whatever. AoE. Again, it has Shrieking Curse. Shrieking Curse, anything in the cone in front of you, dealing negative 92.28 damage, or it deals damage. It shrinks the enemy, reduces their damage, reduces their heal. Inside of it, when they use the debuff, it reduces the heal and damage, and the max current HP point reduced by 0.25, which when you go into the game, you're able to see how much is actually being reduced. Now, this is the king of weapon because when you actually time it correctly, if your AoE is very, very powerful, you can do it right off the beginning, and basically it'll make the mobs less HP, and then the tank can survive more because it's getting hit less and does damage on it, plus at the same time it kills all the mobs much faster. So the King of King weapons is always going to be the meta, the Incubate Mace. And again, it has Air Compressor, which allows to bring everybody together, slow them down, AoE, and you're good to go. However, I want to give thanks. I want to give all credit to darthmagus, aka Captain Russian. His channel will be linked on the description below, so you can see it. He did not make this video, but I took the opportunity to make this video, and because the guy, I think he's on point with this weapon for the tank. Now, back we did a video where he actually went, if I actually can find it somewhere around here, he went leather. Let me actually take this on, even though it's beautiful freaking song. There it is. We went with the life curse staff. We posted here how much spec he had, which was 0. We went with the chest, which is about 200 or so spec into it. He was using the AoE, the armor piercing, and then the feeble, which we'll be covering in a second. And during this time, we were doing really good just for duo. So let me go actually back here into the Grandmaster Life Curse Staff, and let's go for some of the ability. The AoE ability, one of them is called the Curse of Sickle. It shoots the sickles in an indicated direction, which flies back on your position and applies a vile curse on an enemy it hits on the way. The curse deals negative 16.94 damage every 2 seconds, stack up to 4. So I think when you throw it, it goes forward and it deals the stack, and as it comes back, it deals a stack. So you're doing AoE to actually try to tank. Again, the next second ability is armor piercing. A demonic beam shoots out of the straight line. All enemies hit gets a negative 77.11 damage and have their armor resistance reduced by 0.15 for 8 seconds. Now understand this, in the game when you look at it, you'll have the right database, because this is just flat base, but when you see it on the weapon, it'll probably say maybe like 50 or 60 or something like that, armor reduction or something or so. Again, we have the other one, which is the Enfeeble Blade, which is very important. Summon a ring of deadly blade around yourself or an ally that follows the target around. The blades will repeatedly deal no damage and reduce attack power by 0.05, stacking up to 10 times. And here is actually where it actually matters with the Enfeeble Blade. When you use the Enfeeble Blade, it hits everybody where he's at, and because of that, they deal less damage to him, so it is actually a tanking weapon because you're actually reducing the damage. Obviously, you can use this on a tank if you were a Curse Staff user and you found another tank and you use it on him. It'll be even better if you use it on him, like an Incubate Mace and stuff like that. But again, we're making this as a self-tank weapon. So the Life Curse Staff, we're about to go in and explain some of the great details of it. One of the great details is not only are you doing a good amount of AoE with a Feeble Blade and Curse Sickle, but at the same time, you're reducing your opponent's armor. So if you're reducing the armor and the magic resistance of your opponent, your DPS is actually dealing more damage. I'm not gonna say the same, but it feels the same as an Incubus Shrinking Curse. Shrieking Curse, which lowers them down a bit, so that way your opponent, your teammate, can go ahead and finish them off faster. It feels the same because you're actually lowering the armor and magic resistance. Then you used the Cultist Rope, and during this time, the Cultist Rope has an ability called Rotting Ground. For the next 5 seconds, your movement speed will increase by 0.3, and you will leave a trail of rotting ground behind you when you're moving. Reduce resistance by 0.15 and healing reduced by 0.20 for all enemies who touch the rotting ground. The effect lasts for 3 after leaving the area. Energy cost is 0. Time for this, and basically, here's what I like about this. It's because Cultist Rope plus Curse Staff, I feel, equals Incubus Mace, because those two abilities right here, the reduction for the armor and the Cultist making it the same thing. Again, this is actually a weapon that does have a couple AoE, which is awesome, but I feel like it could definitely work for a tank. We haven't tried it with a tank chest, which we should, but we tried it with another spec of AoE, and that was the Stalker Jacket to deal even more damage. Again, this was supposed to be a build for dual only, not as a whole thing as a tank wearing a plate on his chest and taking for everybody's in the 5-man or 4-man or 6-man dungeon. I'm sure it's gonna work that way. I'm sure it can work that way, but we did this a majority for the 2-man, which he was using the Stalker Jacket and the Mortal Helm. As you look at over here, you'll find out that when he does the first AoE, let's see if we actually do it way back here, because we did the first one. And I will put this link in the description below. Again, he does it, you see the stacks, he activates Enfeeble, and then activates the chest. So he's dealing massive damage to your opponent for just 2-player on a staff that has 0 spec. So again, we actually go a little bit further so you guys can see it. During that time, I don't know if you already did it, but basically I'm healing him through all this damage. Actually, I will scroll a little bit backwards. Oh, there it is. Alright, so there it is. actually activated these too late. It should have been on time, but it's, as you see right now, it's doing both damage at them. I'm healing him through it. He actually grabs more of them. I'm gonna go a little bit faster on this so you guys can see it, and then it clears up the map up nicely. Now I am running also cultist route to help with the clearing. But this is actually using as a 200 spec stalker jacket. This is not a tank chest. This is just a leather chest, and he's doing pretty fine with it. Again, we went further and we did a lot of the runs all the way to the end of the boss to try to see how good it works. Again, during this time, I also am a pretty good healer, but if you have also a pretty good healer, you should have no problem. Activating the feeble is really greater. Now, the reason we actually posted this is not just because of the 2 men that we tried in here. It is actually because, where is that? Oh God, did I deleted it? I'm not gonna make this video again. I just tried to make this video like literally 5 to 6 times, and I'm supposed to have everything in order. Let me go back here. Let me go to the ND test. Let me scroll down and let me go up. Here's something. Enfeeble Blade Life Curse. Cast time 1.5. 1.5 for 1 second. So hit delay 0 and stand time 0. I do not know if the hit delay means that it's gonna do more hit as it lasts for seconds because it has a hit delay, or that the stand and the stand time. I don't know if oh yeah, that's the one that you do the I'm sorry, that's the stand time is when you do the stamp the foot stamp. Let me actually show you that here, which is getting above, which is even better for the runs. Let me go to the first one, and I actually have to slow it down because you guys literally need to see how it happens. As we're about to go in. Damn, it's a little bit slow on this one. There. Alright. There it is. He does the first one. Slow it down to 0.50, I think. Right? Speed at 0.50, and we can see it. Now he activates his chest first, and look. Right? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That's actually not the first battle. Apologies. First battle was 2 of them, and we can actually see it better. There it is, right here. Summons that, and look, he's casting Enfeeble. It has a cast time, but look, at 0.50, and now it has a stump. Look as he's about to stump. That's a stand time. Boom, and then it goes around him. Now that is not going to happen. That should not happen because we have it now at 0, hit delay at 0, and now he's able to cast it at 0.50, like 1 second only for Enfeeble Blade, so he's going to be much faster. Again, he's doing a good amount of LE. This is at 0.50. Let me actually increase it back to normal speed. And he just melts them with both weapon. With both a chest and Enfeeble Blade. Now, I believe that this is going to be pretty cool for big runs because what you want to do is minimize the amount of time you're running in the dungeon. So if you have a big group that has an AOE, this guy is going to be able to deal damage. He's going to be able to stack AOE again with this Q. Say the name. Curse Sickle. And then after that, he's going to be able to armor pierce. So as soon as everybody's ready to like AoE, armor pierce, big damage. Sandal, Cultist Sandals, as he's running around, more damage because of the reduced resistance. So this is a video pretty much about the weapon that I think might be fun to use as a tank. Now, leave it a comment or it's in the comment below on this video. Sorry, I actually need to learn how to edit these things out with Vegan Pros. Leave a comment below what you think about the build, if you like it or if not. If you're not, that's fine. If you do, tell me what you like about it, and if you're actually trying it and you tried it, do give me some feedback. Again, I did not invent this build. This is all darthmagus, so I will be or aka Captain Russian. I'm gonna be putting his link on the channel on the link of the description below, and I will be posting this type of video, the dual curse staff AoE tank build, on the description below. And sorry for the rambling and for the stuttering and all that stuff.